All right. This is going to be a very fascinating video because it's going to be an outlier video. It's going to be talking about a special circumstance that only applies to a certain type of person. And if you are this person, then this is like a cry for help to you. But this is like a warning, like stop doing this. And that is being raised in a certain environment or setting that overshadows what your true potential to become something was. So like for example, okay, I know this guy, right? And he was raised in a predominantly like traditional family in a sense that you don't do anything eccentric, you don't make a lot of money, you work a 9 to 5, you find a nice girl, you marry her, you have kids, and then those kids do the exact same thing. It was very simple, traditional life, okay? Now, there was only one problem with this guy, and it's the fact that he, and I don't mean this in like a weird way, but he is extremely good looking. Like he could be like a model, okay? Now, he literally has like women approach him like whenever we go out. He's very he's got it when it comes to like dude could model, dude could straight up model. And so to paint a picture of what this guy looks like to you, picture long hair, like long alternative like e-boy hair with like striking like high Native American cheekbones with green like almond shaped eyes with like prominent lips. That sounds insanely crazy. I'm sorry for phrasing it like that. And like an insane like jawline. But yeah. And so dude is like the pinnacle of like he could model, you know? And so women will like flock to this guy, and the only problem with him is he's very one of the only problems with him is that he's very timid. He's not good around girls. He's very bad. He's very bad at expressing himself. He's very bad at articulating himself. He's very bad at speaking in general to anybody, not just women, but he's just very awkward, dude. He's kind of a nerd. But overall, the main issue I've noticed with him, and I've talked to him, like I haven't talked to him in a way to like try to, switch him or change him. Like I've given him some advice or pointers that I think would be good for him in life, but the main thing that like I've talked to him about is his background. And I've noticed a trend and a pattern in people like this. Dude is literally like been drilled into his life by his family that looks do not matter like that much. Like they matter to an extent, but they don't matter a lot, and that you need to just kind of like live life normal because your looks aren't going to get you ahead in life. They're good to have, but they're not a necessity. And if you have them, great, but it doesn't really change anything. And how your life is already predetermined, and you're going to find a nice girl and marry her, and you're going to do all this, and it's going to be a happily ever after. And I'm like, it's insane to me because it's like this guy literally like believes it. Like it's not the fact that if that's what he wanted to do, like if that's what he wants to do, all power to him. I won't change that because that's his will. But it's the fact that he thinks that there's no other choice. The fact that he thinks that that is his predetermined life and that if he could change it, he would, but that there is no way to change it and that that's what he just has to like deal with and suffer it. And I'm like I'm like looking at this guy like, dude, I keep trying to like tell him that's not the only option, especially for someone like you. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is gonna sound really cocky, but this guy and I look very similar. We get asked if we're like brothers a lot when we go out. We just not even because of we just have the same like style and overall just like hair and like kind of similar face. But like we're asked if we're like brothers or like related at all when we go out a lot. And so like I'm like trying to explain to him not only are you somebody who like I can relate to and like looks, but you're also somebody who literally has the exact same aesthetic as me. So like I can literally show you how to like look exactly to like the best of your ability in your aesthetic. And not only that, like your life can be altered in an insane way if you just allow it to happen. But he is like in this perpetual state right now where he wants to believe everything that I'm saying is true, but he can't because the reality of him being like lied to up until now, he cannot fathom it. Like it's so scary to him that he cannot fathom the fact that he like is like that everything he was told could be a lie and that he could be living a completely different life, or he could have been living a completely different life up until now, and he just couldn't. Now this dude is like 20. He's like 20 right now. So like I'm like trying to explain to him like, yes, you were lied to, but that's okay. It's still so early on in your life that like it's okay to like bounce back and start fresh again with a new mindset right now. In fact, now is the perfect time. Do it now, you know? But back to the topic at hand. It's just so interesting because I don't believe that his family did this to him on purpose. And that's the whole argument. He keeps telling me that, like, no, you're wrong. My family wouldn't do that. They wouldn't sabotage him like that. And he's right. I don't think that they would do it. Well, they did do it, but I don't think they would do it on purpose. I don't think they were out to get him. You gotta understand something. And these people are gonna understand this more than anything. If you're somebody in your family who is like the good looking one and you're like known for your looks, right? Everybody else in your family is probably like drilled it into you or tried to tell you that like well, maybe not, but if you come from a predominantly this type of family that he was in, like a traditional family, they're gonna tell you that your looks, especially as a guy, your looks aren't gonna change anything. Like if you're a girl, they may have some leeway, but if you're a dude and you look good, they're gonna tell you it's not gonna change anything. And the only reason they're saying that isn't to oppress you or make you have a like, trash life. The reason they're doing that is because they literally don't know any better. They're, you know, the parents probably weren't like his parents probably weren't as good looking when they were his age. His siblings probably aren't as good looking as him. Like they all lived life as average people who never had a prime, which is okay. But since they never had a prime and they never got to experience the life of someone who looks way better than other people and stands out because of it, they don't know what it's like to live that life. Like in my opinion, being a good-looking person, like, and finding another good-looking person to relate to is way harder than an average-looking person finding another average person, like, looking person to relate to. And that's not actually my opinion, that's a fact, because there are more average people in this world than there are good-looking people, you know? So it's easier to find someone like you if you're average. But when you're good looking and everyone else around you is average and all they know is an average lifestyle, they're obviously not going to attribute looks as the pinnacle of something that makes your entire life different. Because they're not going to know that that's the truth because they were never in that position, so they never got to experience it for themselves. So therefore, they're going to misinform you that your looks aren't that important because they were taught that looks aren't that important because they never had the looks in the first place. Like, I'm sorry, but if you were taught that looks aren't that important in your life, you're probably not somebody who looks very good. Like, I hate to break it to you, but if you were taught in your life or you think in your life that looks don't matter that much, it's probably because of the fact that you don't look very good at all. And or you're in a rare case like this guy who was literally raised by people who thought looks don't matter, and even though he looks good, you know, he was still told that for however many years, so he believes it. You know, he's programmed to think it. Like, if you're somebody who truly believes looks don't matter, like there's like if you're a good looking person, you're not gonna believe that. You know, like, if you're someone who looks really good and you're told on occasion, like multiple times that you look good, that's gonna go right out the window. You're gonna like have this, you know, you may even experience a little bit of an ego boost in yourself or confidence boost in yourself, or like you may become like a little bit more of a narcissist, you know, at times. It could be like the polar opposite. You know, you're not just gonna be like, no, looks don't matter. No, they do. And that's back to what I was saying. Everybody in this dude's family is like more or less overweight or just doesn't look great. They're average. And they just, you know, this is my theory, by the way. I haven't met these people, but I'm assuming. Like, they're average, probably, heavy set, and they don't know any better. So, therefore, how can they guide someone who looks the way that, like, my friend does, when they have never in their life experienced what it's like to look that way? They literally don't know the first thing about it. And it's like, it's so unfortunate because I'm trying to, like, it's painful in a sense because you're trying to tell your friend that you're better off teaching him the ways of life in his situation than his own family. And like in a way, I can't even blame him for not believing me. Like, how is he supposed to believe me? How is he supposed to believe that I'm more educated on like getting him through his life than his own family? But it's like it's the regardless of whether he believes it or wants to believe it or not, it's the truth. It's literally the truth. One, because of the fact that we have a similar aesthetic and more or less look like the same. Like we look very similar. And two, like I know what it's like to like go from I know what it's like to go from like overall being like average looking or like just really like awkward looking to like being someone who like is chosen for their looks. Like I know what it's I've been on both sides of it, so I know the differences and overall perks and benefits and disadvantages and just ways you're perceived. I know everything about it. Like in a sense, I've deep dove into this because I was curious, and I just find it so fascinating that a person can be raised in an environment where like they're told something that is so not true, but since they were programmed to believe that it was true by however many people in their family, like they literally have no other choice but to think it is true, even when they're like having girls come up to them, or they're, you know, like could be a model. Like it's like they still just have this granite set of ethics that can't be broken because they cannot fathom a reality in where their family like lied to them, which is in a way their family really didn't lie to them. Their family was just trying to give them the best possible outcome for their life based off the knowledge they had. It's like the equivalent of your parents telling you to like do things the way they did things when they were your age to save money or accumulate funds, when in reality like they've never lived in the world that you lived in, with technology being what it is now and inflation rates going up and everything costing more. Like you can't really follow the path that your parents were on and the way they lived life at your age, because buying a house was substantially cheaper than it is now, you know? It's like there are so many things you can't take your parents' advice on, and like this is another one of those things, but instead of money it's looks, and it's so funny to me. But that's my message. My message is, if you're somebody right now who like, looks, you have someone in your life like me who's telling you that you look extremely good and that you need to like model, or you need to like adjust your life according to the way you look, and you truly believe that like looks don't matter because like you were in a situation where your family drilled that into you, please listen to the person who's telling you that like you look good and that you need to change. Like I know it sounds kind of like shallow, but like this person who is telling you these things probably understands your life a little bit better than the people in your like family do. Because let's face it, if someone looks like you that's telling you that, they probably know what it's like to be in your shoes more than your family who doesn't look like you, if you're like the good looking one. So just listen to them out, like hear them out, maybe adjust your life a little bit accordingly. I'm not saying full on like plunge, like listen to them fully, but maybe just adjust accordingly and just hear them out. Who knows? This person could be somebody who vastly improves your life. And all you gotta do is give them the chance.